Today we're going to check out the Arizona Power Company 10,000 limited edition 30 inches of amplifier here. Let's find out more about the amp and what it can do. Roll that beautiful beam footage. I noticed this amplifier came up on eBay last year, 2021, Arizona Power Company 10,000 limited edition. I'm like, I got to get me one of these. So I picked one up and man, I immediately laughed about the size of the thing. It's super long, super skinny. Then I did some research and found out Dr. Crankenstein had a model just like this back in the late 90s. 1997, Car Audio and Electronics, we find it here, listed the M-1200cx. Says 200 watts by 2, retail price $549. It was also listed in the 1998 Car Audio and Electronics directory. Again, same model number, M1200cx, same ratings, all that stuff, and of course the same price as well, $549. These are MSRP prices, and I've also included the current prices for 2022. Now the Arizona amp wasn't listed in any of the directories, but since this is a copy, we're just going to go by the Dr. Crankenstein. Here are some of the specs. Thanks for the people online that scanned the manual for me. I appreciate it. Speaking of the amp, let's look into it more. Here on one end, you see we have the ground 12 volt and remote. Those are screw down terminals. It says made in the USA right under that. Over to the right, we have the left and right speaker outputs. And you can also bridge the amplifier. Very simple, but you can even notice by these pictures how skinny this amp is. On the opposite end, we have line output. Then we have a crossover, high pass and low pass. And then we have a switch for the line level and also for the amp for low pass, all pass, or high pass. The all pass just makes it a full range amp. Of course, it also has RCA inputs on the right. Kind of odd. I would think the inputs will be on the left and the outputs will be on the right, but hey, whatever. At least it has outputs. It's kind of rare for an old amp. This amp is made in the late 90s, and here you can see me going down the table. It is long, my friends. As far as dimensions, approximately 30 inches. It lists as 29, but that's not including the terminals at the end for the length. 4.8 inches for the width and 1.7 inches for the height. As far as ratings go, stereo, 100 watts by 2 at 4 ohms, 150 by 2 at 2 ohms, or bridge mono, 300 watts at 4 ohms. You also may notice the Dr. Crankenstein that was listed in that magazine said 200 watts by 2 at 4 ohms, so this one is a little bit more conservatively rated. We're going to show the amp dyno now. On the left, you'll see the RMS output in watts. The middle, you'll see the ohm load. On the right, you'll see the voltage of the dyno. Now, those who haven't seen these tests before, let's talk about these dyno tests. Certified, uncertified, and dynamic. Certified tests up to 1% total harmonic distortion. Uncertified tests up to clipping. Dynamic tests the dynamic capability of the amplifier. First up, let's do the stereo tests. The amplifier is wired each channel going into the amp dyno. We're going to do 4 ohms first, rated 100 watts by 2. Let's do the certified test first, up to 1% total harmonic distortion. And yes, we get that 100 by 2. We get 110 and 103. I honestly wasn't sure this amp was going to do its rated power. Uncertified up to clipping, get just a little bit more, 113 and 106 at 14.4 volts. Then we'll reset the dyno for the dynamic test. These stereo tests are done at 1 kilohertz. Notice the dynamics is kind of sagging a little bit. Again, this is not any difference that you would ever notice, but it is a little bit lower on the output. Typically, the dynamic is higher. Efficiency, 59%. This is a Class AB amplifier, so that is about on par for what we expect. 2 ohms is rated 150 watts by 2. You think we can get it? Absolutely we can, plus some more. 201 and 188. We're averaging about 195 watts per channel at 2 ohms. That's, again, much better than I thought it would do. Uncertified up to clipping. Over 200 watts there. 14.24 volts. Let's reset the dyno, see if it's any better dynamically at 2 ohms. And once again, not. 179 and 170 still beats the rated power, but not quite there as far as dynamics. 53% efficient at 2 ohm stereo. Next up, we'll bridge the amplifier mono, use the 40 Hz test tone, and find out if we can get this 300 watts. It's rated. They don't specify a voltage, but we're keeping it close to 14.4. So let's try a certified test first, and yes, we get it. 333 at 14.35. I wasn't sure what to expect, but sometimes with these no-name brands, it's like, yeah, right, you know, the ratings are not accurate at all, but in this case they are. 423 up to clipping. Wow, that's crazy. Did over 100 watts more than it's rated. Let's try dynamic. Again, dynamic and certified are not too far apart. So we got 349, 14.34. If you want to see lower voltage tests, I'll do it at the very end of the video, so stick around for that. Efficiency 46%. Again, class AB. Results, there you go. This amp beat its ratings at every single load. It being as old as it is, being a kind of a knockoff, I'm not even sure what you call it, amplifier here of a Dr. Crankenstein. And we show the guts, we'll show you more about what I mean about that. But does it bump with 300 watts? Can we push the quad box? All right, let's try the bass test of the Arizona Limited 10,000 limited edition 30-inch plus amplifier hooked up to the quad box. Let's see what we can get here. You obviously can't tell here by the video, but it was actually pushing the subs not too bad. It sounded pretty good overall, but this quad box is pretty efficient as well. Now let's find out what's inside. Yeah, obviously there's lots of space with this 30-inch long heatsink. Let's take off 2 screws on the end here that's got the power inputs as well as the speaker outputs. Then we can literally look at this where it says made in the USA. I love the way they display that proudly, as they should. On the bottom, we'll pull off this little panel. The Dr. Crankenstein did have a clear plexi panel on the bottom. This one is smoked black. You can see here some capacitors as well as a 2 25 amp fuses. So if you ever get one of these and it doesn't work, make sure you check those 2 25 amp fuses there. You can see it just like a long highway here. Transistors there for the outputs. We do have skull and crossbones in the middle. We do have an inductor. We do have the transformer as well as some more caps there. But check out this inductor. Yep, she was flapping. Looks like the hot glue got lost. Now notice right below the skull and crossbones here, looks like somebody scratched something out. I think that used to say Dr. Crankenstein. At least that's what my buddy over at Legends of Car Audio, Brad, said. He had one that was actually the other way. February 12th something. I'm not sure if it's 1998 or 1999. One of the two. Probably 1998. But there you have the guts of the Dr. Cranky. It's got a little plug here so you can plug in your Arduino or something.
This is not a Mickey Mouse program!
And then we ran the FLIR on it just to see, of course, typical things get hot, the transformer, the inductor, stuff like that, nothing out of the ordinary. Now what about the pros and cons, things I like, things I think that could be better, at least things to be aware of. Made in the USA, yeah boy. Accurate power ratings, hard to believe. RCA inputs and outputs. It does have crossover for the amp plus crossover for the outputs. It is rare. Good luck finding one. There's no Molex plugs. Thank you. Class AB for purist. Yep, it is Class AB. What about the things that could be better? 30 inches for 300 watts. Yeah, you're not going to be showing this one off. People are going to say, and that should be like 5,000 watts. Suspect build quality. Definitely. We saw that. Rare means good luck finding one of these because you probably won't be able to. I never knew they existed until they popped up on eBay. There you have it, the Arizona Power Company 10,000 limited edition. Very odd, very rare, very kind of cool old school amp. If you guys like to see stuff like this that you've never seen before, make sure you let me know in the comments below. If you don't like it, let me know that too. Appreciate you as always for watching. Big shout out to Living Loud with Andy. Thanks for supporting. As well as all the other patrons. As Big D, I'm out of here. I can already hear you guys asking, what about 12 volt tests of this amp? We don't have 14.4. in our 1984 Honda. Okay, certified, we get 333 at 12.79. That is exactly what we got at the 14.4 volt. Uncertified up to clipping, again starting right around 13 volts. And yeah, look at this. 386 at 12.77. Again, I was shocked. That means there must be some regulation with this amplifier's power supply. Again, dynamic, it's not as impressive. 334, 12.94. Big D, about to go test some more amps.
You know how them sound waves go?
Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range.